2014 was one of the most pivotal years in recent WWE history. It saw the breakup of The Shield, the launch of the WWE Network, and the small matter of WrestleMania 30, which saw Daniel Bryan finally take his place as the company's top star. Oh, and something to do with some bloke called The Undertaker? Can't remember what all that was about. Not all of these changes were good, though. Brock Lesnar seized the world title in his iron grip, holding it hostage for months at a time. The women's division was in a truly dire state, and don't even get me started on those 20-minute long authority promos. So once again, we are here to break down some of the worst in-ring outings of the year, ranging from the badly booked, to the woefully worked, to the downright disappointing. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 worst WWE matches of 2014. Join us. Number 10, Brock Lesnar vs. The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. The Undertaker's streak was one of the most important wrestling traditions of all time. Starting way back in 1991, the dead man went unbeaten at WrestleMania for 23 years, dispatching a who's who of legendary opponents. Some of these matches were fantastic, and some were against Giant Gonzalez. The streak came to an end at the hands of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30 in a moment that stunned the crowd into silence. It was unquestionably one of the biggest match outcomes in wrestling history. It's just a shame that the bout that preceded it was utter turd. Taker got conked on the head early on, which severely inhibited his ability to walk, let alone wrestle a good match. It was a slow and clunky affair that only got interesting after the final bell had rung. Whilst fans would have loved the streak to end after an all-time classic, the reality was very different. It's hard to rank this match any higher than number 10 due to its historic nature, I guess, but man, did this one stink. Number 9, Eva Marie vs. Summer Rae on Raw. The Bella Twins might have picked up the Wrestling Observer's Award for Worst Feud of 2014, but a close contender was definitely the Fandango, Summer Rae, and Layla love triangle. Summer Rae had debuted as Fandango's dance partner earlier in the year, but was betrayed by the future fashion cop when he picked Layla over her. This led to a series of matches between the two, none of which were particularly thrilling. The worst of them all was actually a match that Layla wasn't even in. Summer Rae faced Eva Marie on a May episode of Raw, and the match's offense consisted mostly of shoving, hair pulling, and everyone at home contemplating their life choices. Summer looked like she was about to win when Layla and Dango appeared at the top of the stage and started kissing. This distracted Summer long enough for Eva to roll her up and finish the match. It was too short to do any real damage, clocking in at just over 2 minutes, but this contest perfectly showed the state of WWE's women's division at the time. Number 8, Titus O'Neil vs. Darren Young at Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber 2014 has the honor of being the final WWE pay-per-view before the introduction of the network. It also hosted a match between Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, which turned out to be less of an honor and more of a curse. O'Neil had recently turned on his fellow primetime player because he was dead weight and holding him back. That would explain why, since ditching Darren, Titus has gone on to become a 10-time WWE champion and a winner of the Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, and Money in the Bank all on the same night. There was absolutely no heat to this match as the crowd struggled to care about the breakup of a lower card team. It didn't help that neither man was particularly electric in the ring, leaving fans feeling anything but millions of dollars by the time Titus got the win. What an advert for the WWE Network. Number 7, Nikki Bella vs. AJ Lee at Survivor Series. Nikki Bella began her record-setting 301 days as Divas Champion at Survivor Series 2014 when she beat AJ Lee for the gold. Did this reign begin with an all-time great match? A battle of wits and physicality, the likes of which the world had never seen before? Nope, began with a snog. Shortly after the opening bell, Nikki's sister got up on the apron to distract AJ. Brie then applied a classic Greco-Roman lip lock on Lee, which led to Nikki hitting a forearm smash and a rack attack to win the gold in 33 seconds. This match showed exactly what WWE thought of its women's division at the time. Its top prize had just been won via kiss, and now belonged to a performer who couldn't really wrestle that well or cut promos. The fact that this had happened to one of the better female workers in the company was was the final straw. Number 6, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena at Extreme Rules. Snakes and Ladders must be Bray Wyatt's favourite game because he sure played it a lot throughout his WWE career. Just when it looks like he's finally hitting his stride, something happens to stop his momentum and send him right back to the beginning again. The first time this happened was at WrestleMania 30 when he lost a match to John Cena. This should have been Bray's jumping off point, but Cena's unstoppable ability to overcome the odds wasn't quite dead yet. Their feud didn't end there though, as the two faced off again 1 month later inside a steel cage. Cena dominated Bray in this match, even finding enough strength to fend off Harper and Rowan as they tried to interfere. Bray only won because he summoned a creepy child to block the cage door while singing a haunting song right into John's face. Not only did this match have a really silly ending, but it also made Bray look like a total chump. He needed serious help to beat Cena here, and whilst he technically did get the win, he didn't really look any stronger for it. Don't worry, Bray, the Firefly Funhouse is just 6 years away. Number 5, Big Show versus Eric Rowan at TLC Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs. As wrestling fans, we are always clamoring for WWE to try something new. Except when that something is, give two big blokes some stairs and see what happens. And that is exactly what went down at TLC, or should that be TLCS? That's right, one of the main selling points of the entire show was Big Show versus Eric Rowan in the first ever Stairs match. Yay. The gimmick was pretty straightforward. Rowan and Show could hit each other as often as they liked with the various sets of steps littered around ringside. If you expected this to add something new to the match, then congratulations! You are exactly the sort of audience member WWE are looking for. You're also wrong though. Stairs have never been that dangerous in wrestling, unless you're Zach Gowen against Brock Lesnar, and fans just weren't buying this contest as anything remotely threatening. Not surprisingly, after this debacle, WWE have never done another Stairs match again. Yet. Number 4, El Torito versus Drew McIntyre on Raw. Drew McIntyre had to put up with some serious nonsense during his first run in WWE. A lot of this humiliation took place when he was part of 3MB, the jobber stable that somehow consisted of 2 future WWE champions. In particular, there was their feud with fellow Jobbers Deluxe Los Matadores and their mascot El Torito. Dressed head to toe in a bull costume, El Torito is probably most famous for his fantastic WLC match against Hornswoggle, but what you might not know is that he also holds a clean pinfall victory over the Scottish Psychopath. The two had a match on Raw that was mostly just Drew throwing Torito around like a ragdoll. However, the little bull was able to yank McIntyre off the second rope and pin him to claim victory in this bizarre encounter. Not only did Drew lose to a person half his size, but he also did so without even taking a proper wrestling move. Number 3, Naomi versus Cameron on Raw. This match is on here for one reason and one reason only, but before we get to that, let's talk about the Funkadactyl, shall we? Naomi and Cameron were introduced to the WWE Universe as cheerleaders / backing dancers for Brodus Clay in 2012. The duo rarely competed during the 2 years they were together, eventually splitting apart. After the Funkadactyls were declared extinct, the pair would face off in a series of matches, including this one from a September episode of Monday Night Raw. The action was sloppy, with Cameron looking lost multiple times, but the best moment came when she hit Naomi with a leg drop and tried to pin her on her front. Cameron was screaming at the referee for not making the count, all while the crowd watched on at Naomi lying face down on the mat. I guess she learned absolutely nothing from that Melina versus Alicia Fox match. Number 2, Cameron versus AJ Lee at Elimination Chamber. It's a double whammy for Cameron, or should that be double cammy? Can you tell I'm trying to procrastinate so I don't have to talk about this awful match? Despite it going less than 5 minutes, Cameron managed to mess up several spots in this Divas Championship match against AJ Lee, including a really poor Lou Thez press. However, she wasn't actually the worst part of this bout. That would be Tamina Snuka, AJ Lee's bodyguard at the time, who must have stolen Harry Potter's invisibility cloak because the referee clearly couldn't see her. She accidentally hit AJ with a super kick and broke up a pinfall to no reaction from the official. AJ finally got DQ'd when Tamina hit Cameron with a clothesline, finally bringing this hot mess to an end. Interestingly, we were close to this match not happening at all, as it was originally meant to be Naomi facing off against Lee, but that was canned after she hurt her eye. What could have been? Number 1, the Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble. For the second of these countdowns in a row, we've decided that a traditional high point of WWE's calendar year was actually its worst match. Daniel Bryan played a huge part in both of the disastrous Rumbles of 2014 and 2015, but please don't pelt his social media with negative comments. It wasn't actually his fault, plus he'll knee your face off. Whilst D-Bry was eliminated far too early in 2015, in 2014, he didn't even make it into the match. The American Dragon's popularity was through the roof, and everyone wanted him to enter the Rumble at number 30, win it, and go on to challenge Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Instead, Rey Mysterio was the final entrant, and accidentally got the biggest heat of his career. The fans didn't just turn on Rey, they turned on the Rumble itself as soon it was clear that Bryan was not showing up. The boos only got louder when they realised that part-timer Batista was going to win instead. A potentially super exciting Rumble ruined by shoddy booking, but at least we have this match to thank for Bryan's eventual rise to the top at WrestleMania. And that is the only nice thing we'll ever say about it.